Hi everyone, I'm Marcy and today I'm in Sacramento visiting my best friend Ruth because she's going to be showing us how to make homemade pasta. Now I should say that Ruth is not Italian, but she is married to an Italian, so she learned early on how to make really great Italian food.
Well, my husband is Italian, yes. He is from New York. His grandparents are from Naples and they owned a restaurant, and that's how I know how to make Italian food.
You learn from the best. All right, well, this is going to be good today. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and let's get cooking. So there are lots of different ways to make homemade pasta. And one thing that you'll notice with Ruth's recipe right off the bat is that she doesn't use as many eggs. And she was explaining to me that that has to do with the different regions in Italy.
Yeah, so today we're going to use 2 eggs. Some regions use 4. It depends if they had the means.
Makes sense to me. All right, what else do we need today?
Then we have semolina pasta flour.
And the semolina flour is just higher in gluten, so it helps the pasta hold its shape when it's cooking. I just learned that too.
And then we have the olive oil, then we have water, and then we have our sea salt.
All right, so these are the ingredients and we'll put the amounts in the description box below, but go ahead and get started and let me know if I can help in any way.
Sounds good.
Ruth first dumps 3 cups of semolina flour directly onto the tabletop, and she makes a well in the middle of the flour where she'll then crack in the 2 eggs. She begins mixing with her hands and then starts adding the other ingredients a little at a time.
Go ahead and pour the olive oil. Pour it in.
She's using 1/4 of a cup of olive oil and is just slowly working it into the dough.
Okay, great. So go and pour the last of it. Great. Great.
By the way, we should say that this table is not usually here in this kitchen. We just didn't want to have our backs turned to you if we made this on the counter, but usually when Ruth makes her pasta, she makes it on her kitchen counter. But we made sure it was nice and sanitized before we started this.
Okay, now I need the water.
Okay, do you want me to pour it slowly?
Yes, pour it slowly on it. As I mix, go ahead. Great. Perfect, it's coming together. Again, Mars.
She adds a total of 1/2 cup of water, and with each drop, the dough starts to stick together a little better.
Okay, now go ahead and get the salt and go ahead and pour it in.
Finally, we add the salt, and it's time to knead. Because it is helpful to have a second set of hands, huh?
Yes, it is. Makes the process go quicker.
She adds a light dusting of semolina flour and kneads a little more.
I knead it for about 5 to 10 minutes till it's smooth and firm. Just like this. And then I let it rest for 25 minutes.
All right, well, while that's resting, I guess we can get the attachments on the stand mixer.
Yep.
Get ready to roll, as you said earlier.
Let's roll.
Once the dough has fully rested, Ruth cuts it into 4ths.
So now we're gonna take 1 piece, and you can either roll it out with the rolling pin, but you know what? I just like to go like this, and then power on the machine, and then we just feed it in. Now, if you can go ahead and come on over here, and then when it comes out, I want you to grab it, and see how it's coming out like this? It's gonna come out a little bit thick, but that is okay. Go ahead and take this. So now we're gonna feed it back in because we wanna thin it out.
Ruth runs the same piece of pasta through the machine 4 different times, twice with the dial set at the thickest setting, and 2 more times on thinner ones. Each time we see the pasta not only get thinner and smoother, but longer, and so she cuts the length of the pasta so that the pieces are more manageable.
Okay, and then we're gonna add some more flour on here and just kind of
dust it a little.
Just dust it, yes.
Ruth says it's important to continually coat the pasta with semolina flour because it keeps it from sticking and also helps it to dry faster. Now on to the next piece. This time we experiment a bit with the different settings so that I can get a feel for the varying thicknesses. So really it just depends on whatever kind of pasta you want to make?
Yes. We're making fettuccine, so we don't want it too thick and we don't want it too thin.
After running all our dough pieces through the machine, we're left with a table full of flattened sheets of pasta.
Look at how beautiful that looks. Now we're ready to make our pasta.
Now we cut it.
We cut it, yes.
Ruth changes the pasta making attachment to one that cuts fettuccine, and we're back in business.
Ooh, look at how beautiful that looks.
Now when it comes out of the machine, the pasta is cut into perfect strips.
Yes, yes, yes.
That we carefully twist and lay onto our surface, forming what looks like bird nests.
And you make it like that.
Oh, okay.
Like this. Beautiful.
We sprinkle with more semolina, and then on to cutting the next sheet. Can you imagine what it was like before having all this pasta making equipment?
Well, I do know that Bob's grandmother, she would cut it by hand. So depending which pasta she was making for the day, she would make caponellis, and she would twist them with her hands, her fingers, and she would throw them in the pot. Fettuccini, she would cut them with a knife.
You'd have to have a very steady hand to do that.
Wow.
Fortunately, the way we're making this is easy. We continue to twist and lay our little nests of fettuccine out to dry. Ideally, you let it dry 24 hours before cooking it, but we're going to be eating this pasta today. The water is already boiling, and since it's only going to take a couple of minutes to cook, Ruth quickly whips up a light sauce to go with it. She sautés onions, garlic, sun-dried tomatoes, and pesto in olive oil, along with some other seasonings, then sets it aside so we can cook the pasta.
I like to look at it because if it's too wet still and not dry enough, the noodles will stick. So these are pretty good. And we let it dry already. So here we go. We're gonna go and pop it in.
The fresh fettuccine is dropped into the boiling water.
It takes about 2 minutes to cook this. Nice.
So that's not very long at all, I guess, because it's fresh. Is that the deal?
Yes, because it is fresh pasta. If you were to buy it in the grocery store, then you'd probably want it from 7 to 10 minutes. 7 to 10 minutes is al dente, which is a firm. And so right now we're just gonna cook it for a couple of minutes and make it al dente as well. And then usually when you could know your pasta's done by when it floats up. You know, like raviolis.
Yeah, ravioli for sure. She drains the water, adds it to her light sauce, tosses in some fresh basil, and we're ready to eat. I can hardly wait to try this. I'm going to put some of this cheese on mine. Do you want some?
Yes, I do.
And you do the red pepper flakes, huh?
I do. If you like it a little spicy, put the red pepper flakes. It always is a winner.
That's me. I like that. I'm spicy. Let me give this a try. Wow. First of all, I love that sauce you made. Very fresh. But the homemade pasta really makes a difference. You can tell.
Yes.
And I gotta say, it was a lot easier than I thought. I think we tend to get intimidated and think, oh, we can't make our own homemade pasta. But that came together really quickly.
Yes, it did. And if I can make it, anyone can make it.
Well, thank you so much. You're actually a very good cook. So no, not just anybody can cook like this girl, but thank you so much. This was so much fun and this is so delicious. We're gonna go finish eating. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. You can also follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my friend's kitchen to yours.